to a citizen, fool. Citizen to a citizen, fool.
Key to life.
Another one.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, citizens. Welcome to another episode of
Pose.
Thumbnail said, talking about what should you do if you're involved in a self-defense shooting. Are you prepared for it? Do you know what to do? I tell anybody that attends my class, or I recommend that they get this sort of education. And you know, to be sure that carrying a firearm is something that they want to do, especially if they already have one. If they haven't purchased one yet, then we have a more in-depth conversation. Let me explain why. I'll roll the clip in.
Now at 11, a deadly home invasion. Philadelphia police say a tenant pulled the trigger, killing the suspect after he allegedly forced his way into an apartment on City Line Avenue. Thursday night, breaking off, I'm Walter Perez. The big story in Action News is breaking news. Police say a would-be burglar has been shot in the head. Now investigators are piecing together what exactly unfolded inside that apartment. Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher joins us live from the scene in Overbrook tonight. Brianna.
Yeah, Walter, well, investigators just wrapped up on scene here moments ago, and we spoke with residents who were coming and going earlier. They say they knew something was up when they got an email from the apartment complex. According to Philadelphia police, officers responded to Premier at City Line Apartments on the 6100 block of City Ave just after 7 o'clock tonight. Officials say a man in his 20s forced his way into an apartment. Soon after, police say it was the renter that shot the suspect once in the head and killed him.
Damn.
Residents coming back from their Thanksgiving plans thought it was strange to see the front door of the building propped open. They also received an email from property managers saying they're working with authorities regarding an unfortunate situation, and officials want to reassure that the building is safe.
I couldn't imagine somebody would have gotten, I thought maybe somebody got through the door here, but not into somebody's apartment, individual apartment, you know, so that's kind of frightening. When you're coming in and out.
I gotta bring it up. It's called pause. Load management.
People might be behind you, or, you know what I mean, and you don't close the door behind you to lock them out to make them use the fob, so I guess it's, and there is security cameras everywhere.
Now, so far, police say they've uncovered 2 guns from inside of that apartment, and it's unclear at this time if that renter will be facing any charges. For now, we're live in Overbrook. Brianna Gallagher, Channel 6 Action News.
So in this instance, there was a burglary or attempted burglary. They went into an apartment building. They got past the initial doors where you need a key fob or a code or a key to get to. And they entered this person's apartment, and this person shot them in the head. Now, let's stop there. They allegedly shot him in the head, and the person died. You know, what do you do? What do you do when you're involved in a self-defense shooting? You know, a lot of people panic, and they're not sure exactly what to do. Some people call 911 right away, which is the right thing to do, right? But, you know, there's a couple of steps. You know, a lot of these burglaries or robberies that occur, it's normally not just one person, which kind of makes me kind of question this particular shooting, because, you know, they got into the building, they got up to this person's door, which I'm sure they passed plenty of doors. Were they just checking doors? I don't know. Speculation. Anyway, my recommendation is to make sure that you're in a safe place. Okay, first of all, that you're actually safe, that there's no other people coming up behind this other person. Hard to do in an apartment, but kind of easy. It involves you leaving the scene, which sounds crazy, but you can leave the scene if you're notifying 911, hey, I'm leaving because I don't feel safe, here's where I'll be. And that's recommended. Make sure you're safe. If you're in a home, or even if you are in an apartment and you have a safe room in there, which many people don't, utilize that room where you feel safe. You can lock a door and, you know, no one will get in, except for anybody that you want to get in. So that's number 1 and 2. Make sure you're safe. Call 911. Number 3 for me that a lot of people don't think of. I've had some impromptu conversations, just gun talk with regular gun owners, not trained people that train a lot or even carry as often as I carry. Is an attorney. I'm not saying go out there and get an attorney. I'm just saying think about what happens when you're in a self-defense shooting, right? The police arrive and they're responding to a dispatch call. They see one person dead, one person alive with a gun. Immediately, you guys are both suspects. The dead man can't talk, so they're going to ask you questions. In some situations, it's a justified shoot. In other situations, it turns out to be, domestic dispute or an argument, and somebody's claiming self-defense, right? So just keep in mind that to law enforcement, yeah, they're here to serve and protect, but they're also here to do some investigating, and they do this through investigative questions, and depending on your answers, you could, it could be deemed a justified shoot, or if you give the wrong answer, not knowing, right, that it's the wrong answer, you could go to jail. There's been instances where people were arrested not for a crime, but for questioning. And they're asking you these questions, trained investigators, to get to the bottom of it, or to get to some point where they feel that it's a justified shoot, and not something else. And this is why the third thing, the person that I call all the people would be an attorney. There's a lot of subscription services out there for attorneys, and specifically self-defense attorneys. I'd recommend, if you're a firearm owner, go ahead and Google some of these guys. They charge a monthly subscription price. I'm not mentioning any names because I'm not recommending, any one particular. Or you may just have an attorney that covers things like this. Or if they have a firm that they have attorneys that cover self-defense shootings. That's something to look into. Especially this next situation. I want to roll in this next situation that has me with a bunch of questions. This happened recently. Well, they say it happened recently, but I think it happened several months ago and they're just releasing the tape, but it just showed up on the feed. Take a look at this clip.
Neighbors saying the complaint about loud music ended with 2 men dead.
That's right, and this happened early this morning near the area of Kelton Way and Main Avenue. CBS 13's Tori Apodaca joining us live with the crime that's left many neighbors there reeling, Tori.
That's right. Like you guys said, we know that 2 men are dead, and this happened just feet away from this neighborhood. This is Kelton Way. You can see that there's no longer the investigation going on out here right now, but neighbors tell us that they are just grieving the loss of one of their own right now and terrified that this happened so close to home.
It's tragic. It's just really, the whole block is shocked.
A disabled veteran in a wheelchair, known by his neighbors to walk his dog here every morning.
The guy's car was stopped, and the windows were down. He was playing loud music.
Just before 6 a.m., we are told the veteran asked the driver to stop blasting his music. Then, multiple neighbors say the driver ran over the veteran with his car, and the veteran pulled out a gun and shot the driver.
There's obviously a lot of moving parts to this. There's a lot of stuff that we still don't know.
Sacramento police have not confirmed this is how it happened.
Is the subject still under the vehicle?
They arrived on scene. They found 1 man was dead with evidence of a shooting. Police found another man suffering from at least 1 gunshot wound at a different location.
Okay. So this man, and there's different ones, but this was the shortest. I didn't want to drag this out. So one clip says he was in a wheelchair, another one says he was walking his dog, and then the third one says he's walking the dog in a wheelchair at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's typical. I walk my dog between 6 and 7 in the morning. But what's not typical is the 2 people in the SUV playing loud music. Does it happen? Yeah, it happens in my neighborhood, but it's typically not 6 a.m. in the morning. So this happened at 6 a.m. in the morning, and the gentleman in the wheelchair, allegedly in a wheelchair walking his dog, asked him to turn down the music. And the driver responded by allegedly running him over. And the guy in the wheelchair responded were shooting the driver in the SUV as well as the passenger. Driver was found dead on scene when the police arrived. The passenger was taken to a hospital and later died. You know, I don't have enough information to tell if this was a self-defense shooting. We don't know. If there could be so many angles here. We don't know if that's exactly what happened, right? We don't know if the man in the wheelchair walked by and said, turn the music down, and the guy in the car said, you know, whatever, mind your business, shut up. And then the guy in the wheelchair pulled out a gun, and then the guy in the SUV felt threatened, so he mashed the gas and ran him over, and then got shot. We don't know. And this is the exact reason, you know, that you need an attorney. And I say that because that's the type of thought process, in my opinion. If you're a good cop, you want to question these things. You know, you want to question, so this guy in the SUV ran you over, and you, after being hit by a truck, were able to pull out your firearm and hit not just the driver, but the passenger, killing both from a position on the ground, assumably, with these guys being elevated. It leaves a lot of questions. I'm not saying one thing did or didn't happen, or the other thing did or didn't happen. But these are the type of questions that you're going to be faced with as a person using self-defense, lethal force, in a situation like this. So just throwing this video out there. These are 3 things that I think about. You know, if I ever have to use my firearm in self-defense, things that you should consider, and look into it. You know, comment down below if you're an instructor, if you're a trainer, if you're you know, if you're just a concealed carry owner, or if you don't even have a firearm but you've been thinking about getting a firearm. These are things that I tell people that don't have firearms. You know, think about why you're getting a firearm. Are you going to follow up with the training? Are you going to keep abreast of all the legalities of carrying a firearm and what happens after the fact? Things of that nature. So yeah, comment down below.
Thanks for checking out the channel, and we'll talk to you soon.
Citizen to a citizen.
You're still here. It's over.
Another one.
Citizen to a citizen, boy.